Just pulled up to TCH Dallas. Let's see how Frank and Rosie are doing. What up, Stein?
Welcome on in.
How you doing?
I'm good. What's up, big dog?
How's it going? How's it going so far? We're here.
Well, you know, it's going pretty good. Let me show you about it. First hand for me, we got pocket 10s in the low jack. We see an under the gun straddle to 5 and 2 limps. A limp will not do. I make it $25. The cutoff calls and the first limper calls. So we are going in the middle of this 3-person sandwich to the flop, which comes jack 8-5, 2 spades. I do have a spade in my hand. The first player checks. I'm in between a c-bet and a check here. Obviously, we're multi-way. It's more likely someone out-flopped us, but we're still going to go for the c-bet. I bet $30, and only the first limper calls, which is the best case scenario involving a call, as we will be heads up for the rest of the hand. Off to a turn, which is the 4 of spades. The front door flush gets there. When the first limper checks here, I am going to check it back for some pot control. We head to a river, which is an interesting one. It's the ace of spades giving us a flush, and because that spade's an ace, it makes our flush the 3rd highest flush. He checks pretty quickly, and we are going to actually go for some thin value here. Obviously, his jack X holdings are not going to like this ace. His non-flush holdings are not going to like this run out, so I bet small. I bet $50. And he folds, showing the 2 of clubs face up. Not sure what he could possibly have with the 2 of clubs there as his other card, but we take this one down for our first pot of the night. What's up, guys? Quick announcement. The boys are going to Los Angeles, California next weekend. We're going to be there August 21st doing a meetup game at Hustler Casino. Here's all the details. It's going to be a blast. Come out. See you guys soon.
First hand for me, we got King Jack offsuit middle position. There's 1 limp to me. I opened it up here to $10. Wish I would have sized up a little bit more. We get 2 callers, and the limper decides to come along as well, so we're off to a flop 4 ways. Comes ace jack 10 rainbow. Checks to me, and I decide to check back here. I've got a pretty good hand, but not super strong. I want to pot control here, so I check, and it checks all the way around, and we bink a queen on the river. Now we have the nut straight. And the under the gun position, who was the original limper, decides to lead out here for $15. I'm pretty sure she's got a king here. She's a pretty tight player, and I don't think she'd be doing this with much worse. For that reason, I actually just decided to call here. I'm trying to build a pot and get more players in who have weaker holdings, like just a weak ace or some sort of 2-pair. I make the call for $15, and the button doesn't hesitate to raise to $90. Now I know he's a king as well. And we get some news from the under the gun position, who ships it all in for $700 total. We've got 300 in our stack. We're not folding this hand. We've got the nuts as well. Pretty certain it's going to be a 3-way chop. I make the call, and the button calls as well. We flip over our hands. I've got King Jack. The under the gun position has King 8 offsuit, and the button has King 5 offsuit. Unfortunate that we had the best hand on the flop, and we probably could have taken it down if we bet, but we end up chopping this one 3 ways. The river is a jack, so we did get trips. If only that would count for a better straight.
Next hand for me, we got pocket kings. Let's go. In the small blind, we see middle position open it up to $15. The cutoff makes the call. 15 will not be enough. I 3-bet to 70, and only middle position, the initial raiser calls. We're going heads up out of position to a flop, which comes 9-2-3 rainbow. Pretty great flop for kings. I go for the c-bet here. I down bet on this drive aboard texture to $50, and he is not going anywhere just yet. He makes the call. Off to a turn, which is an 8, the second spade. The board has gotten a little bit more connected, and it's time to size up and see if he's the real deal or not. He's got about 290 left. I have him covered. We go for the sizing of $140. Puts him in the tank, but he does elect on a fold. He would later accuse me of having ace-king, which we know that we didn't have. I wonder what he had, though. We take it down onto the next one.
Here's a fun one. We got 10-9 of diamonds in the middle position. There's a $5 straddle. It folds to me. I make it 16 total dollars. We get 1 call from the cutoff, and everyone else folds. So we're off to a flop heads up the way we like it. Flop comes 7-4-5, 2 diamonds. So we flop a flush draw as well as some backdoor straight potential. Although this board is better for his range, I don't want to give him a free card, and I only have 10 high right now. I bet $20, and he snap rips it all in for $169 total. I'm not sure if this guy is ever doing this as a bluff, but even if he is bluffing here, his bluffs have me beat. If he's got a higher flush draw or even ace high, I make the fold, and he shows me king 3 of diamonds, so we were really dominated here. Glad I was able to get away from that on the flop and potentially save some money if we were to hit a diamond on the turn or river. On to the next one.
All right, everyone, strap in. You saw the title. We got pocket aces in the small blind. We see 3 limps. A limp will not do with the best hand in the game. We raise it up to $20 and get exactly what we want. 1 caller. The first limper, the under the gun limper calls, so we're going heads up out of position with the best hand in the game to a flop of Jack 8-8 Rainbow. Obviously, we're now losing 2 and 8, but we are not going to just shut down, obviously. We're going to c-bet here. We love our aces. I c-bet for $20, and he makes the call. The turn is a 2. It is the second club. Now it's time to size up, charge those Jack X holdings, the 10-9s, maybe some non-believing pocket pairs, and I bet $40, and he just smooth calls yet again. Could he have an 8? Is he slow playing me? Well, let's see. The river is going to alleviate all of my concerns because it's the ace of hearts. Yes, sir. Vegas, the Mirage. Let's make some money. I'm now thinking of how can I milk him for the most profit, and I'm thinking that his Jack X holdings are not going to like this ace, right? His top pair has been downgraded, and it's very unlikely he has an ace himself because we can see 3 of them. So I think I'm going to bet small. If he has an 8, an 8's probably going to re-raise regardless. There's no straight or flush on this board, so an 8 has no reason to be scared. For that reason, I like my plan of betting small to either get value from a jack or to induce a raise. For those reasons, let's bet. I bet $45. He thinks about it, and music to my ears, he raises me to 100. We are going to make some money. I know what I'm going to do already. We're just going to Hollywood for a little bit. About 250 left to be played for. I rip it all in. Get snap called in half a second. I don't care. Oh, you should care, bud. He's got pocket 8s for the flopped quads. I don't know what I'm more mortified about watching this. The fact that that just happened, or the fact that I'm completely rubbing my face with both of my hands. If you don't know me, I'm a little bit of a germaphobe. Poker chips and poker rooms in general, not the cleanest places. The fact that I'm doing this is appalling. I'm going to go shower right now. That is just disgusting. There was really no way we could have lost any less than the absolute maximum there. He slow played his quads as he should. This hurts. Please do what I say, like the video. Subscribe, buy merchandise.
That sucks.
Yeah, 239.
Yeah, that's poker. Poker is really hard, and let's try to win money. That's it. Okay, bye.
I'm so sorry, Rosie. That's brutal, man. Let's try to pick it up after his unfortunate losses. Under the gun +1 here limps. She's short stack. I make it $11 to go with Jack 10 of hearts. Such a pretty nice hand. Connects well with a lot of boards. The button calls, small blind calls, and the limper calls as well. Going 4 ways to a flop, which comes King 9-2, 2 hearts. So we flop that gutter to a straight, the flush draw, and the straight flush draw. So when it checks to me, I bet $30, which is around half pot, hoping to get calls and eventually hit my hand. But everyone folds except the short stack, who goes all in for less for $21. Let's go to a run out live. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
You got a straight flush.
Oh my
I knew it. When you said that, I knew you got a straight flush.
There it is, second straight flush in my life. What a hand. Unfortunately, it wasn't too big a pop, but very excited to see that turn card.
Next hand's a fun one. I just wanted to show you guys to set the image for my table that I'm at. I have pocket ducks. We are in middle position. The under the gun player straddles for $5. +1 makes the $5 limp. I decide to limp as well for $5, and it folds around to the button, who raises to $10 total dollars. Massive raise from this guy. The small blind calls. The big blind calls, and then the under the gun player decides to do something crazy. He 3-bets here to $34. That doesn't stop the +1 position player from calling the $34. Oh boy, I've got 300 in my stack. Is it worth it to risk $34 with pocket deuces here? We could go set over set sometimes, and we probably will just miss on most boards, so I make the fold here, not getting a great price. The button decides to fold, and then the small blind rips it all in for $150 total. Oh boy. The under the gun player who originally 3-bet calls the $150, and the under the gun +1 player decides to fold. They are all in, they're off to a board, and the under the gun straddler ends up showing Queen 9 suited. He flops the nut straight and rivers the flush as if he even needed it. He absolutely binks there. People are calling light. I'm just hoping to bink a hand because I'm definitely going to get paid. Let's go.
Guys, the beautiful thing about poker is it's almost like the poker gods just know sometimes. They know when it's time for redemption. So when I'm on the small blind again, what do we look down at? Pocket aces, the best hand in the game. Again, same spot. Let's make this money back. We see middle position open it up to 15. The cutoff goes for the min click 3-bet to 30. Screaming strength. I love it. Gets to me in the small blind. 30 won't be enough. I make it 100. And the middle position player folds and the cutoff makes the call. Now I need you guys to buckle up. It gets pretty interesting. We head to a flop, heads up out of position, which comes Queen Jack 4 rainbow. And he immediately puts his chips in front of him. Like he's trying to go all in out of turn almost. It's not like quite an all in, but it basically is. And he says,
I'm going to have to do a 200. And you look like you were about to beat me there.
After hearing all of that, I really don't know what to think here. Obviously, queens have passed us and jacks have passed us. We're still ahead of kings and ace king. But his confidence and eagerness, I am going to actually slow down and check. And he checks back. Definitely did not expect that. He looked like he wanted to put it all in. Let's head to a turn. Can it get worse? You guessed it. It can. The turn is a king. And this time he does go all in out of turn. He puts in a little over $200 completely. Is my turn. He doesn't care. I decide to check. He now re-goes all in. And now I'm just really, really confused. There's not much we can beat at this point. It's weird that pocket aces can become just a fold, but I honestly think it is here. We can beat ace king still. We obviously double block that, so that's not likely. But we lose to jacks, we lose to queens, and we lose to kings. He min 3-bet, cold called my 4-bet. I am going to lay this down. I actually tell Frankie to get this on camera because this is pretty gross. We make the fold. The table freaks out. And he shows pocket kings. So he turned us. He got it. He got us good. We made the correct fold. If we would have got it all in on the flop, we would have lost a lot more money. So that weird exchange saved us some money. This night is not going well. Time for me to go home.
Unfortunately, Texas Card House was not running any hot hand promotions. As we go into our next hand, the person in under the gun is a very new player who just sat down. We know nothing about him besides he's a younger Asian male. Don't know anything about his hand history or how he plays. Here he bets $15 as he sits down, and I look down at ace king offsuit in the cutoff. Folds to me, I raise it up to $50, and under the gun quickly calls. Going heads up to a flop, which is 10, 10, 3, 2 clubs. And now the under the gun player leads out for one green chip, and I don't know exactly what to do. I think ace king high is probably good here on this board a lot of the time, but I'm going to keep all of his bluffs in, so I just make the call here. The turn comes a great one, ace of diamonds. So now we have top 2 pair. Under the gun bets $25 once more, and I'm going to be just making a call, trying to keep that bluffing range in there. Also his smaller pocket pairs, I think maybe he can bluff me off an ace or anything on the river. I don't believe him. Going off to that river, which is a 6 of clubs. The flush draw gets there, and he bets $25 into about $175. If this card wasn't a club, I think I would go for a raise here, but I just make a call here in this case, and he does not show. I wait for like 10 seconds, he doesn't show his cards, so I flip over ace king and we're good. So never got to know what he had there, but he played a very interesting line there.
We are in the best position possible, the button. Under the gun +1 bets $15. Middle position makes the call, the hijack and the cutoff make the call. It's on me on the button. I think this is a great spot to 3-bet squeeze. The +1 position only has $60 in his stack, but I think I'll get a lot of credit here because I haven't 3-bet all night, and this will be one of the first hands that I play strongly. So I 3-bet here to $65. I wish I would have sized up closer to $75 to $80. Under the gun +1 thinks about it. Here's his thought process.
I know he got pocket queen, pocket king, pocket king.
It's been
Talking about it.
He got it.
People start chiming in. The dealer tells them all to be quiet, and we're on to the next guy after he calls all in. The next two callers make the call as well for $65. I'm immediately regretting not sizing up, and it's on to the cutoff who makes the fold. We are going to a flop now, 4 ways, but in a side pile with 2 other people. Flop comes low and all red. Unfortunate for us, we brick, and it checks to us, and I'm not going to be bluffing here after one player's all in. I check as well. The turn is a red 7, and now the middle position player leads out for $100. I definitely know I'm not good when the hijack makes the call, and so I just muck my cards. The river is a king. The middle position player bets $100 again, and the hijack folds. The middle position player shows pocket 7s for the turned set, and the under the gun +1 player shows pocket jacks. So pretty rough situation for him. Back on to the Frankie show. Take it down.
Buckle up. There's been a lot of nonsense this video, but here it gets even absolutely wilder, and it's completely my fault. Under the gun limps, under the gun +1 limps, hijack limps. I don't want to play limp pot. I try to raise it and get people to fold. I make it $15 with queen jack offsuit in the cutoff. Button calls, small blind calls, under the gun calls, under the gun +1, and hijack call. Going to the flop, which comes king 10 king with 2 clubs. We flop an open ender, and we have a backdoor flush draw. I like having the queen of clubs, but the under the gun player bets $30 before I can act. I don't want to raise here because he probably has a king. Actually, I know for sure he has a king. So I just make the call, hoping to hit my straight. And now the small blind jams all in for $130. The under the gun player calls in front of us after a full minute 30 in the tank. So this guy's a pretty tight player. I know that he has a weak king at this point, and the other guy who jammed for 130, I have no idea what he has. But in my mind, I think that this player could have a smaller flush draw, like 5-6 of clubs, and be jamming, trying to take the pot down now. So for that reason, I go for an extremely unorthodox play. With $400 in my stack, covering this under the gun type player who cracked Rosie with quads earlier, I jam all in as a bluff, targeting weak kings, weak 3 of a kinds. This guy goes in the tank once more. He flips over king jack, which is not as weak as I initially thought, and makes the fold. So our read was right, but now we have queen high going to a run out. One time, please. 6 of clubs on the turn, and then a 6 of diamonds on the river. We do not have anything. I don't want to show my cards. All in, thankfully, flips over his hand. He's got king queen trips, which is now a full house. So that guy was not jamming light. Straight draw was live, so we had about 35% equity, but I like a call a lot better in hindsight.
All right, we are back in the humble abode. We called it early. I hope you can cut me some slack for doing so. It was a bit of a roller coaster of emotions for me. We only lost $70 on this session. I bet you didn't expect that number to come out of my mouth. Yes, we played some very good poker before those hands happened. Those hands weren't as fun to make the vlog, but we were looking great until those hands occurred.
What a crazy night it was for Rosie and Frankie. Not much going on for me. Somehow I still managed to be down 680 on the night. Was running pretty card dead.
Well, I tried to bluff off my profit with that queen jack hand, but the straight flush, the ace king all helped. I made $195 on this session, in for $400, out for $595. Good job, Rosie, for the small loss for what could have been way more. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Peace.